Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and here with me is my co-host, Nick Muley. And tonight, we got a very special episode for the Halloween season. And we're looking back into a film that was adapted from a pretty big part of our childhoods, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And Nick is super excited about this because he's a huge fan of the book series.
I'm not only just a fan, I'm also the host of the Scary Stories books. And because we're talking about this, I thought I'd bring these on this special occasion. I actually brought with me the 3 original books.
Nice.
You got, of course, the originals. Oh, wait. You got the original Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. You got more Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And, of course, Scary Stories 3, More Tales to Chill Your Bones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these books were very popular, but also somewhat... Oh, hey, Jeremy. How's
What's
it going,
up,
man?
Jeremy? Good to see you.
Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, these books were popular, but at the same time, pretty controversial because a lot of families and schools had issue with the not just the stories, but also the illustrations that were done by... let's see, what was his name?
What's up, Brad? Alvin Schwartz and Stephen Gamble.
Yeah, let's see. I think was it Stephen Gamble who illustrated it?
Yes, Stephen Gamble was the illustrator.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, a lot of people have an issue with the way those illustrations looked, like depicting like rotting corpses and
perhaps one of the most notorious of them. This picture for the Scary Stories trilogy.
Oh yeah. That's the one that I read, The Treasury.
Yep, I got every single one of them that you can imagine.
Let's see. Hey, Brad, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so and of course, stories like this, it was only a matter of time before this was adapted to film, which that came to pass in 2019 with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which was produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Got the film right here.
Yep.
You got your copy too.
Got my copy on Blu-ray.
Oh no! Here's what Brad just said. They put my ex-wife's picture. Brad, I'm going to be honest with you because I'm kind of on the same page now with Jeremy. The more you bring up about your ex-wife, the more I kind of feel sorry for her.
No, it's the more I feel concerned for Brad because you better hope that your ex-wife doesn't watch this.
Oh, please don't watch the show if you're watching.
Oh, man.
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, but
just like a
face palm emoji. Oh, nice. But yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy how like everybody was just making this was really causing a huge controversy because of how like they thought, oh, kids are just going to be terrified or going to be deeply disturbed by these images. But take it from a guy who read this when I was around 7 years old, no effect on me, none.
Scared the hell out of me when I read them. Even when I was growing up watching horror films and watching paranormal stuff, it was always like the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series was very much like it was like the black sheep of the horror family. That was like the only thing that really scared me. And obviously, I think there is. Hang on a second. Well, considering I showed you that drawing, it seems like for a lot of people there was always one drawing and one drawing only for each person that scared them the most. Everybody had their different picture that was terrifying for, but this one in particular, which is the story from the haunted house, this was the one that scared me the most.
Oh yeah, that one was creepy. But you know what that actually reminds me of?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, just drop the book.
You're ever with it, man.
Yeah, I know. I definitely do because I've owned this book now since 2010. In fact, do you remember the days back when we used to have the store Borders? You remember this?
I remember that.
This was literally the last book I ever purchased from Borders before they closed down. This was back in October of 2010. I know you can't see it too clearly, but if you saw it closely, you could tell it's rather aged quite a bit. In case if you guys wonder, that's a bookmark out of it.
Because you keep dropping it.
No, that's the first time I dropped it. No,
Sure.
no, seriously though, it really has aged, but it's still for the most part in great shape. So
Nice. Yeah,
been
I forgot all about that place. Yeah, like the last one
yeah.
I know of was in like downtown, and that closed like, oh god, almost 10 years ago.
Well, the one I got it from was from Wilmette, which you go there today, it's now a Walmart, which is sad.
Yeah,
And
that's
that was
right.
actually a place I was hoping to work after I graduated high school, but that's when it closed down. But yeah, ever since I got in this book, it's been a Halloween tradition for me ever since to read this along with an audiobook. So definitely an awesome book to read. And the
Yeah.
funny thing was, go ahead, Don, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of gruesome images, like it seems like it depends on where you are when it comes to people who have an issue with gruesome imagery, because you know, countries like Italy, they just put out like all kinds of gruesome stuff when it comes to horror, and like it's nothing. Example.
Zombie, of course.
Yeah, the Worm Eye Zombie right on the cover, you know, completely skeletal, and this was available in stores, you know, where children could see this.
Yeah,
And
like publicly, in other words.
yeah, in the back of this, there's a woman being ripped apart on it by zombies. There's a picture. There's a picture of a woman being torn to pieces. Jesus,
that's just nuts.
Yeah,
yeah.
Italy,
I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Italy, they're not. Yeah, when they want to get brutal, they mean it.
They do, and I always, come to think of it, I kind of wonder if this was like, especially when Stephen Gamble did the illustrations, if this was like his answer to like the Italian graphic imagery in Italy. I mean, I don't think it is, but there's always that possibility.
I can kind of see that. Anyway, I wanted to respond to this comment.
Yeah,
Ulrich. I also have the movie. Yeah, awesome. I have I have it on Blu-ray and digital. I mostly just watch the digital copy because I love the 4K quality.
Nick's just pointed out his image that scared him the most. I know exactly which story that is. The Red Spot.
The Red Spot, which they also adapted from the book into the film.
Yeah, let's just see it, because since I got the books right here, Nick's, let me just ask you then. Does this picture look familiar? Hopefully you guys can see it. Yep, that's the Red Spot.
Oh yeah, I remember that image. Yeah, that's because you got that filter on, yeah. Like that's
I know. I actually like it. It really kind of blends in too with the black and white, because the drawings are made of are from charcoal drawings. It actually kind of blends in. I like it a lot.
Yeah, kind of.
Brad's asking, is the movie? It should be streaming on HBO Max.
Let me find out for you. I think it's streaming on HBO Max. I mean, like I said,
Hulu.
Let me,
Amazon Prime.
Let me IMDb this. Hang on.
Should also be on YouTube Movies. I mean, I think it should be.
It's always on YouTube Movies.
Yeah, I was going to say it should be.
Wait, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I knew it.
I was going to say it should be It should be streaming just about everywhere. Jeremy said we can go on for however long we'd like tonight. I guess Greg's not doing a show.
Okay.
Oh my God, Brad. Doing a 9-hour show today. No.
I wish.
I think something tells me I think he's at work right now. That's probably why.
He probably is. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Americans are more prudish when it comes to stuff like that. Other countries don't really care. Well, yeah, European nations don't really censor as much as we Americans do.
Although, 20, 30 years ago, it was the way I see it is that it wasn't as extreme 20, 30 years ago compared to today. Because now parents are more crazy nowadays than what they were, in the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah. Wait, one last thing before we go to that. I wanted to bring this up. Like how there was trouble with with the PG rating and all the violence and stuff that was allowed in like movies back in like 70s, horror films. You look at that. That was up until like the mid 80s, like 1984, when PG-13 was introduced to that a whole new rating was created in order to avoid children being exposed to graphic violence.
Right.
in film. Yep. Which I think to my knowledge, Steven Spielberg himself implemented that because in response to like his movies like Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, having hearts being ripped out, people being burned alive, so
Right.
yeah, he decided to be the solution to that, to the problem with kids exposed to violence. But yeah.
So for Special Agent Carter sauce, love the Hook story. Is this what you're talking about?
Yep. You can never go wrong with a classic urban legend.
I have to admit, what I love about that story is not only has it been the subject of other of movies and certainly urban legends, because it certainly is from what I've read in the acknowledgments, the Hook story is it's pretty popular around college campuses. And
yeah.
it does kind of have let's say a very important message, because how it's about two teenagers trying to get together, have some private time, and then all of a sudden they hear that there's a killer on the loose. It really kind of has like an exact similar message to what you see in the slasher movies. Like essentially it's a message for teenagers saying, don't go to lover's lane, or don't have underage or premarital sex until you're at the right age. And that's what we see a lot in a lot of the slasher movies.
Oh yeah, they write all these stories to scare teenagers. I'm at work.
He's at work. I figured.
Then you should be working, not watching this.
Just wait till 2038. Why 2038? What's going on that year? It's only 2022. That's like 15 years from now. Yes, I did like the mask, Brett. Thank you. He sent me pictures of a mask earlier today that he's putting together. That's awesome.
Sweet. Bonkers.
I'm trying to Jill. Yeah, Jill's not in here again. Where the hell has she been for the last couple days?
Yeah. Hope she's doing all right.
Yes, Supernatural has done an episode on that. I think Special Agent Carter is referring to the Hook story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I believe they did at one point. So, yeah, like Supernatural, I love that show.
Great show.
Oh yeah, great show. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, awesome duo.
Hey, Nikki from Australia, good to see you.
Hi, Nikki. Thank you for joining us.
Brad said he sent it to you, Don.
Oh, here, my phone just went off, so hang on, let me take a look.
Oh yeah, Brad saying he's working machines and stuff.
Oh, is that supposed to be like is that Deathstroke? That mask?
I think so. That's how I see. I didn't really get to have a chance to really look at a lot of it earlier. But yeah, it does have. Oh, you know what? It does kind of look like it in a way.
Yeah, it looks like the DC villain Deathstroke.
Next, don't ever have sex when there's a serial killer on the loose. Yep,
good call. I've seen that happen time and time again. Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream. The list goes on.
Exactly. Like how you age the mask. Yeah. Oh, he's talking. Okay, he's talking about the mask.
I was going to say this does look a little bit like Deathstroke, but I think like he looks through just one of those eye holes, because Deathstroke is supposed to be missing an eye, like from the stories. Oh, Slade Wilson. Yep, it is Deathstroke. Yeah, I'm referring to this. Here, let me pop this. Let me open this up.
That's a really cool mask.
Yeah, he does it. Seriously, he does an amazing job with detailing and getting the color down. Like this is legit.
The power of 3D printers.
Oh yeah.
It was actually a God of War game mask, but the way I made it looks like Deathstroke.
I love God of War. Great stuff.
Oh, it does. Sorry, I'm just reading. I'm just keeping up with all of them.
Oh yeah, I was saying, God of War games. Not gonna lie, Nick. Based on Greek mythology, super violent but fun to play.
Nice. I'll have to look into it.
Oh yeah, it's a story of revenge in the most brutal ways imaginable.
Okay, so Special Agent Carter just said another one. Wonderful sausage. That sounds very dirty. I'm sure this is the story he's referring to. Wonderful sausage.
I remember
Did you know that story once again has not only been another popular legend that has became the subjects of movies, but did you know that story actually originated here in Chicago?
Oh, did it?
The terrifying thing about that story is something like that really did happen here in Chicago. In fact, remember when I went to Joliet Prison a couple years ago?
Yeah.
So, to make a long story short, there was an inmate that served there by the name of Adolf Lutgert. He ran a sausage factory here in Chicago back in the late, I think it was in the 1870s that he founded it, and it continued on until the 1890s. But just like it is in the story, at one point he was having an argument with his wife, who's just like in the story, her name was Eloise, and he lost his temper and actually killed Eloise. This was back in 1898, I think. And now this is where the legend grew. So, contrary to popular belief, it was believed that once he murdered his wife, he grounded her up, turned it into sausage meat, and gave it to everybody in Chicago, like who wanted it.
Oh,
well,
Jesus.
what I can assure you is it's completely not true. What he actually did, what he actually did instead was, after he murdered her, he dissolved her body in acid and then actually grounded her bones up. So, but still, it gave birth to a well-known urban legend that eventually became a basis for one of the stories in one of the books. And it was said that after, when he murdered his wife, he was caught not too long later, but claimed he was actually being haunted by Eloise's ghost, and he ended up he was sentenced to life in prison in Joliet Prison, but yet less than a year after his life sentence began, he died in 1899. So, but regardless of how the story goes, that gave birth to another notorious legend.
Like what you just said reminds me of like this case, one of these crimes that I've read about recently, where a guy named Joel Guy Jr. Found out he was being financially cut off by his parents, so he dismembered them and tried to dissolve them completely in lye, that corrosive substance. And I'm just thinking, God, what possesses people to do things like that, man?
What the hell? I see white people.
What?
You know who this is, Don? Is this one of your subscribers?
Steven Stark? I think I know who that is.
He's hopefully he's joking. I hope he is.
I assure you he is. If that is who I think it is, I'm pretty sure he is joking.
Okay. Oh God, Brad, no. Wait, did you say Jaws the Revenge was brutal but great?
Nope, I was talking about another revenge tale, God of War, one of the best PlayStation franchises in my book.
I have a prototype version of the full game of
someone just joined.
Oh, Jenny, you made it.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. How's everyone? I'm
We're
a
doing
little bit late, but I'm here.
Well, we're happy you could join us.
Thank you. Good to be here. How's everyone doing?
Doing well. We're just discussing scary stories to tell in the dark.
And I have the books and movie, of course, so it was just not complete without these, of course.
Which one, Puppy? I have to put my glasses on.
The scary stories to tell in the dark books.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I am here. It is 10 to 3 in the morning.
I was going to say, it's got to be late out in Ireland right now.
It is. It is late. 10 to 3 in the morning.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's pretty late. But I have my tea and my daughter's coffee.
Oh, I love that coffee cup. That is awesome.
I really got it last week.
Oh,
it's brand new. That's even better.
That is cool.
There is a lid on it, but Jessica didn't put it on. But it keeps your tea and coffee and whatever warm. But I love it, and it's nice and big for my coffees to save many people.
Hey, it's better than what I got.
Oh my God!
Yeah, just plain and simple coffee cup.
I do have Halloween cups, but they're all downstairs, so unfortunately, I don't have them with me. We're still actually unpacking more Halloween stuff, believe it or not.
Are you?
Yeah.
I have to do more. I haven't started yet.
Saying they don't do stories like Goatman's Bridge, Johanna, and La Llorona.
Well,
you know what? Actually, I just want to say this for Special Agent Carter. La Llorona is actually briefly mentioned in this story in the second book called A Ghost in the Mirror. And it's really short. It just says here, another of these ghosts is La Llorona, the weeping woman who wanders the streets of cities and towns from Texas to California, and throughout Mexico looking for her lost child. So it briefly is mentioned. They just don't really do the story. Or the Ghost in Gray, Nick says.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
Yes, Brad. Good morning. Good evening. Hi, Jeremy. Is it 8 o'clock over there with you guys? Half 8.
It's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah, 10 to 9. Brad, they were showing a picture of my ex-wife, Jenny. Be afraid.
Which one is it? Which one is it? I love these comments.
It's probably the same one. He always brings up his ex-wife. And I was just saying before you got on, because I'm kind of being on the same team as Jeremy, I said the more he brings up, the more bad I feel for his ex-wife.
Yeah. And I've been saying that, he better hope his ex-wife is not watching this.
Yeah.
He better hope.
She's in the corner somewhere watching. I say
Yep.
she's watching somewhere.
Oh yeah. Hey, she could be, hey Nick, what are the odds that his ex-wife is one of the viewers on here?
Oh God, please don't find me after this show. Johanna. Oh, it's the song Johanna from Bobby Mackey's Music World. I know that song.
Oh, I see.
It's the haunting ballad that Bobby Mackey had made. Chopping up wood in the front of the farm every other day.
Who's that?
I think he's referring to one of the stories.
I don't know of a story like that.
I
Can't
thought it
think
was
So Jenny, are you familiar with the books? So when they came out, I think they started back in 1981.
Yep, 1981.
Which ones now? Which ones? Because I still have to catch up.
Yeah, it's like I was showing earlier. It's these books right here.
Are these the ones that we've done?
Well, the ones that we did were tribute books to the original trilogy.
Okay, because I've never I know I was born before the 80s, but I haven't seen those. So you're gonna have to tell me something about them because I haven't seen them before.
Don, do you want to start off or?
Yeah, well, Scary Stories was it's a collection of scary stories that were basically it was being made for kids. It's like the kids were like the target audience, and it received a lot of controversy because of the illustrations, the drawings, which were pretty gruesome. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I think kids should be thrown into the deep end. Like I get my children to listen to audio work for me. Like one is 19 behind me, and the other one is coming up to 12 next week. But when she's about 10 or 11, I get them to listen to audio for me. So if they can make it out without me telling what it is, I think they should be thrown. I think they should be thrown into the paranormal ASAP.
Gotcha.
See,
would be good.
See, the way I always saw those books, and a lot of people always describe it, especially those who grew up in the 80s and 90s with those books. I mean, in my opinion, they are probably some of the scariest drawings ever committed to paper. No shadow of a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Can we still buy them?
Yeah, you can still get them today.
Yeah.
So
I have the digital downloads myself.
Do you? So I can download them myself?
yeah, you should be able to make like PDF files. And of course, there's much like us, there is audiobooks that there is an original audiobook that was recorded back in the 90s. It was recorded by voice actor George S. Irving. Although, in my opinion, as great as he is narrating, it's really the audiobook for the first book, I think, is the best because that's where he had a lot of the music and sound effects. As you get to the second and third, it seems like he kind of loses a lot of that and they just don't sound as scary. But also, for some strange reason, the first book, for reasons unknown, not all of the stories are recorded. Some of the stories are missed. So I would highly recommend listening to other people's versions of, I hate to say that, but I would highly recommend others to see the other people's versions. Perhaps for the longest time, the most notorious version of these audiobooks, I never really found out his name, but his YouTube name, he went by the name Da Meat Hook. And he did a great job with the music and sound effects. And when you hear his voice, you think it sounds like a grown man recording it, right? Okay. Well, it turns out he was actually like a 15-year-old Hispanic kid who changed his voice to make him sound older. And the way how he did these stories, he made it as a combination of both scary and funny. Like sometimes he would try to imitate like female characters, and there were just times that he made it funny and scary at the same time.
I'm gonna write his name down so I can see him.
Well, the sad part is, just so you guys know, his YouTube channel no longer exists. But fortunately, I was able to save all of his recordings before he got rid of it years ago, because he got rid of it like 10 years ago. But what I did here, in fact, not only is his YouTube channel no longer here, he's actually no longer with us. According to what a website said, he died of a drug overdose back in, I think it was 2014 or 15. So the audiobooks that people managed to save is all he's got left. We got left of him. So I was fortunate enough to save the recordings before he got rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
Brett is asking if the movie is worth watching.
Yes.
I think so. If you're like a fan of horror, if you're a fan of the Scary Stories, the book franchise, then yeah, I think it's worth seeing, because I feel like they did a lot. They put a lot of effort into the production, like the especially with what they did to bring, the effects that they put in to bring the creatures from the original stories to life on screen, especially with the pale woman with let's see who else. Harold the Scarecrow. Yeah, the big toe. Oh, I should mention the big toe corpse. I think he's played by an actor named Javier Botet.
Okay, I have to watch that.
Yeah, who's a very well-known horror film actor. And what I love about the movie is that the best way I can describe the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie, it's basically there's very little CGI used in that film. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the movie, is basically what horror movies used to be. They were guys in costumes. They were guys in makeup. They were special effects. And that's what really made it, in my opinion, so well done, is we didn't have to focus on all this, CGI stuff that we see in horror films nowadays.
Oh yeah, and I should mention Javier Botet. Like he's been, like you said, Nick, he's been in all kinds of different horror films. He was, let's see, he started off his career like by playing the final zombie named, let's see, what was her name? Let's see, Tristina. Tristina in the final scene of this little gem right here.
What's that one? Oh, of course, Wreck.
Yep. Hey, he is from Spain, Spanish horror film, so I wasn't surprised. And
is it a good movie?
Oh yeah, it's great. I consider it to be one of the most terrifying films that I own. I mean, it's like my favorite. It's my favorite found footage horror film. I think it's better than Blair Witch Project. It's better than it's better than Paranormal Activity. Yeah. So
really.
Yep.
So I read that down. So I'm going to I'm going to have a movie day tomorrow. I'm locking my door. I'm having a movie day tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I am locking my door. I'm having a me day tomorrow.
Just make sure you put down Wreck Spain, because they made an Americanized version of it too. So yeah, watch the one from Spain.
Yeah, okay. There's an American version called Quarantine, which is not as good. But yeah, I should mention Javier Botet. Like everybody always talks about how he has a very tall, slim figure. It's because he has a rare genetic condition called Marfan syndrome. Let me pull that up here. I think I had a page of it saved here.
It's a rare condition, I heard.
Oh, here it is. Okay, it says right here, Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder that changes the proteins that help make healthy connective tissue. This leads to problems with the development of connective tissue, which supports bones, muscles, organs, and to muscular tissues of the body. Wow. So he has a very long fingers. He has like a very thin, like he's like
kind of emaciated.
He has an emaciated look to him.
I think what height is he?
He's like tall? He's tall. He's 6'7".
Yeah, I was gonna say he's almost like 7 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you've seen like Conjuring 2, he played the Crooked Man.
Yep. He was also in he played the leper in the remake of Stephen King's It. That was him.
He was Slender Man.
He was Slender Man, yes, yeah. which was a bad movie, but he did a good role.
This one I love Slender Man. I have them all into paranormal.
He was also in the movie, which was another movie by Guillermo del Toro. The movie he was Mama in the movie Mama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what he the way how he does it, it's like he's used his condition as an advantage to be a hardcore horror actor. I mean, the way I always see him, he's kind of almost like the modern day version of what Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi would be like.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I think, and did you say he's in the Conjuring too?
Yes, he played the Crooked Man. He was this creature that was like very tall, very like I say, he's very tall, very thin. He there was like this what was that toy? What was that called?
Oh, that was like it was like not a music box, but it was, oh man, I know what it is. I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's a music box that you wind it up and
it was like a wind up toy then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking him up.
Why do I get the feeling that Del Toro was inspired by Goosebumps to do a live adaptation of SSTTITD?
What's SSTTID?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, right.
Right, I've just looked him up. I can't remember him in Conjuring. I probably do.
But he was in the second one.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, I don't think he was inspired by Goosebumps, but he did talk, a little bit about where his idea came from those books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Fears.
I'm surprised he didn't have Doug Jones play a monster. He Guillermo del Toro, he does have him play monsters in all kinds of like he was let's see, the fawn, the goat guy in Pan's Labyrinth, and let's see, he played
man.
Yeah, the amphibian man in The Shape of Water. Yep. So he's had him in all kinds of work.
The way I see him is he's kind of also like Lon Chaney, because he's like the man of 1,000 faces in a way.
He is.
Wow.
Oops, sorry.
Nick's like 6'6".
CGI is a masterpiece in some movies.
It can be if done right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen a long list of movies who get it wrong. So CGI does not get the best reputation because of that.
It was like a merry-go-round type music box. That's what
the carousel, is it?
Yeah, from Conjuring 2, the kids were like playing with it, and the music was telling like the story of the Crooked Man, and so like the dark force in the Conjuring 2 was manifesting into the Crooked Man from that.
Okay, because I only watched it about 2 weeks ago. Not for the first time. I have seen it before,
right?
But I did watch it 2 weeks ago with friends. But I will be watching that tomorrow.
Nick's is 6'6". Wow.
Oh, tall guy.
Awesome, Brad. You still, hopefully you got to check. See, I always tell people, Brad, for those who want to see the movie, I always recommend also checking out the books first, because, oh man, how can I really describe? You got to get familiar with the books first before you get to the movie. Doug Jones, yes, he played Billy Butcherson in Hocus Pocus. How could we forget, Don?
I brought that up because I know, because I brought that up in the podcast where we talked Hocus Pocus. I mentioned him in that. And
gentlemen from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Pan's Labyrinth, and The Shape of Water. Yeah,
I love Pan's Labyrinth. That's one of my favorite foreign films. Let's see.
The Invisible Man.
Gosh.
So he was talking about the Invisible Man. I wonder what version he's mentioning, the original one or the remake.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I wish I knew. Yep. Jeremy, I can't see the Invisible Man. I was going to
say, what? Why? If that's because
you can't see him, he's invisible. He cannot be seen.
I did watch it. I loved it. I did watch it. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
The original or the remake?
The remake. But I love the original too. I've watched the original as well, because I love. They always said if you had one special power for 24 hours, what would it be? And I said invisible.
Yep.
I would love to be invisible.
Oh yeah, that seems like the number one, because I've seen polls for it recently on YouTube. Everybody's like throwing this poll in saying, which superpower would you have? Super speed, super strength, or being invisible? And majority of people say invisible.
Yes, I would love to be. Yeah, Hollow Man as well.
Enjoyed Hollow Man. Yeah. Well, did you guys know that they're making a sequel to Invisible Man now? They're trying. Well, in this case, they want to call this one The Invisible Woman.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because she took the suit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, question is it the same person we're talking about here?
Could be.
Super speed works better.
Super speed. So apparently Brad wants to be the Flash. Yeah, or Quicksilver, depending if you're a Marvel or DC fan. It depends.
Don, I got to change the camera quickly, so I'll be right back. I actually just got to fix something here quickly. But
no worries.
Problem.
I think there's a movie that we were watching before, and I kind of try and stay away from watching it. It's The Purge.
The Purge. Oh yeah.
Purge. I find, oh my gosh, and we were saying, and this was only last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about it. We were saying, would you want the Purge for 24 hours? Or is it 12 hours?
Yeah, like 12 hours from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Yeah. But here's the thing. I feel like if the Purge really was real, I just have a feeling it would backfire horribly. It's like, sure, you can give them all the freedom to like let the rage out and whatnot, but I doubt like the whole 12-hour rule would work. I mean, sure, you can give them 12 hours to kill, but do you really think they're going to stop after just 12 hours?
Well, if they don't, then it's illegal. Then they can be arrested and whatnot. But for the 12 hours, you're not arrested. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I just feel like if the Purge was real, it would do a whole lot more harm than good.
Oh, completely. But after the 12 hours, then they could be arrested, and the bad stuff would happen. But this one is you can do it and not get into trouble for it. And we were talking about it, saying, would we do it?
Yeah,
would we do it? Does Jennifer have a list of people I want to visit? Probably. But would we do it? I don't know. But the movie petrifies me.
Yeah, well, all I can say is if the Purge was real, then I'm moving to Canada.
I'm staying in Ireland. I'm staying in Ireland. But it petrifies me. Even the music. Oh my gosh! I mean, the ad goes on first saying this is not a trial. This is real, and then they kind of shut it. Listen, I'm going underground. I am going underground. I'm saving nobody on the streets. Each to their own. I'm saving nobody. I'm running on my own.
But yeah, the Purge. That's another one we're gonna have to cover sometime in the future, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Remake was not my cup of tea. Abusive husband and scientist, bad combo. Not to mention a dangerous combo.
Yeah.
I feel like a whole lot of those aspects were adapted from that. What was her name? The actress who plays the main character, right? I haven't Elizabeth something. Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, I think a lot of the story is like inspired by what her character had gone through in the TV show *Handmaid's Tale*.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. In terms of abuse and a woman fighting back, yeah. So
one of your other subscribers is on.
Hey, Mr. Nice Guy, thank you for joining us. I'm doing great. Yeah.
With gas prices, super speed is the way to go.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I should say, Jenny, that gas prices are not great here in America.
No, they're not.
Crazy here. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And I was in a show last night, and I was only saying how before I never used to worry about it, and now it's like, children, throw an extra jumper on you if you're cold. The heating, electricity, gas, everything has gone up. Everything.
Right. And I was going to say, I don't think it's just us, Don. I think it's all over the world.
Oh yeah, all the more reason to have. Maybe we should have super speed, but I do the next best thing. Something even better than that: teleportation.
That would be brilliant.
That would be great. Being able to see certain parts of the world, and I imagine like if I could actually see myself using that also just to mess with people, like just appear behind someone, tap them on the shoulder, and then disappear.
Yeah, and it would be great that I don't have to get on a plane to go over to America.
There you go.
I don't have to fly. I'm just over in 2 seconds.
But Brad just said plus 5 minutes versus 9 hours to visit family. Speed is better.
Oh yeah, I hear you, Jenny. Like I got a cousin out in Jerusalem. He lives in the holy city, and I just wish I could see him. It's been 4 years since I've seen Mickey.
Right, 4 years. And it's how long was the flight? How long would the travel be?
Oh, it would be. Oh man, it would probably take. I don't know, like probably 20 hours to like fly over there. I'm guessing crazy. I haven't looked it up recently, but if I had to guess, I would say it's definitely longer than any flight I've been on. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. A flight even from Ireland over to the UK, it's long enough for me. It's long enough for me. If I don't have to do it, I will not do it.
Why am I turned blue? I don't look blue at all.
Yeah, you got like some kind of a filter going on, Nick.
that was my intention.
Yeah,
But I don't know why I'm saying I turned blue though.
You're an invisible man with the cloak.
Yep, Nick's become the Invisible Man. You're gonna be in the sequel, Nick. It's official.
Rough eggs.
Yep. So,
if you had some other special power, what would it be and why?
like some people are saying pyrokinesis. I don't want to do that because I feel like that would go wrong in so many ways. But maybe telekinesis if I was able to control it in the ways that I want to.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, as long as that doesn't turn into Carrie or whatnot.
Carrie.
I love Carrie. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, great movie.
Carrie. Yeah, I loved her. Yeah, I like a kick ass at the end.
Oh yeah, nothing beats the original one for me. The original one is
the original is the best.
Yes.
There's copies and remakes, and I don't. We were watching Spider-Man here on Saturday, and I wasn't watching it. Turn it off. I don't want to see it. And I said the original Spider-Man is the one I like. The original Superman. I won't touch anything else but the originals.
Oh yeah, well, the new Spider-Man, No Way Home, like that one, I really enjoyed because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but they do something incredibly phenomenal in it that will blow your mind.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, tomorrow is a movie day. I'm shutting my phone off. I'm shutting my doors and my windows and locking it. And I'm just doing movie day.
Oh yeah, especially if the toe ghoul is nearby.
The who?
There's a story in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. There's a story called the Toe Ghoul, who I believe was played by Javier Botet in this film, where the story involves a boy who just finds a toe on the ground, pulls it, and then his family cooks the toe for dinner, like into a stew. And I'm thinking, that's okay. Why would anyone do that? But
hang on.
But then he hears
what?
Yeah, his family puts the toe in a stew. But yeah, so then that night the boy is sleeping, but he wakes up hearing wailing, just yelling out, "Where's my toe?"
Yeah, this is the story, right? This is the story right here. This is actually the very first story that you read in with these books, The Big Toe.
I want to get these, and they're the original books. Yeah, Cannibal.
They are original. So all three of these books, the first one came out in 1981.
And there's nowhere I could order them, no?
Oh, you should be able to order them. Like they have them on Amazon.
I think you could. I think you could.
The second one came out in 1984. And then the third and final book, Scary Stories 3, came out in 1991.
Okay, I'd like to get them. My children would love them.
And additionally,
I'm using my children as an excuse. I would use them.
Additionally, I didn't show you this, Don. I also have another book that's kind of very much associated with the Scary Stories books. And this is actually more of a real children's book, but is also written by Alvin Schwartz, but illustrated by a different illustrator. And that's the book In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories.
Oh, wow.
I love all of those. I'm writing these down.
Yeah, so I again, these are just true classics. And people have often asked was there ever going to be a fourth book for Scary Stories? Oftentimes, even though this looks completely different from the trilogy, they often will usually associate with this, saying this is somewhat the fourth book, even though the drawings are completely different. Because again, it was done by an illustrator named Dirk Zimmer. They don't have that classic charcoal appearance as they do in the original books.
So, what's your favorite horror movie? Because I know you got loads.
Oh, me?
Horror movie. Both of you.
Let's see. If I had to pick one favorite horror film, it would be this.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, here.
Oh, now you dropped something, Don. First I dropped my book. Now you dropped something.
Well, books are more fragile than Blu-ray cases.
Alien. Oh God! The first one.
Oh yeah, this one cannot be beat. This one, brilliant writing, awesome characters, an amazing plot, and also Oh, excellent suspense and one of the most terrifying monsters in movie history, the Xenomorph.
I'm gonna grab my one.
Let's see.
Tell my daughter.
Okay.
Get it.
Okay. I was gonna say we couldn't hear you. We thought that.
No, it's just me telling my daughter to get up off her ass and go get it, mommy.
Oh. Okay.
It's in the cup press, see?
Nix is like, it's time to break the ice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so while we're waiting on, oh wait, you know what? No, I'll wait. I was gonna tell her what my favorite scary movie was, but I'll give her a second.
Oh yeah, I got a list of 20 favorites, as we all know.
Yeah, I know it all too well.
Oh, so you know them all by heart.
Sort of, at least half of them.
So yeah, I wanted to say that kid who pulls that big toe out. So family cooks it for dinner. So I'm thinking that kid, I'm guessing, grows up to become either Hannibal Lecter or Leatherface.
Well, the problem is that I don't think he survives by the end of the story because the creature comes looking for it.
Yeah, probably not.
Right, I'm back. I have my favorite movies. I'm slightly obsessed with them. It's this one here.
Ah, yeah. Speaking of which, Don.
Alexa, I have the soundtrack music. Love them. I just love the movie.
Oh yes, and oh yeah, Silence of the Lambs is definitely one of my favorites as well. It's it's in my top 20. And
yeah, I love it, and I'm obsessed with moths. And I find the movie the end one, the end one it's romantic.
Jill. There she is. Jill's here.
Hey,
We're just talking about you.
Thank you for joining us.
We've been wondering where you've been for the last few days. Oh, Jenny's. Oh, she's asking what was your favorite. She just missed it.
Oh, this one here, Joe. This one here. Hannibal Lecter trilogy, all of it. And they kind of start at the middle of the movie, but the red door? I think the very, very, very first one of how Hannibal came about.
Yeah.
Yes, I do love it. I love it, and I think it kind of it could be me or the storyline, but I think it's romantic. Does that sound really bad? But he has an infatuation with Clarice.
Oh well, yeah. There definitely is some chemistry between the two. So.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, this film definitely made history. Well, not just in America but worldwide. You know, being one of the best horror films of all time. I mean, it's also the first and only horror film in our Academy Awards to win Best Picture.
Yep,
it's amazing. Even the soundtrack, I love it. I remember lying in bed one evening, and I was listening to the soundtrack, and at the end, the music was so beautiful with the opera. At the scene of the opera, and that music at the very end, and I'm lying in bed and I'm just floating away. I'm so relaxed. It was the last song of the CD, and then it fit the music had ended, and I'm just kind of floating off to a sleep. And then you have this merciful bang, and then he goes ta-ta. I leapt and grabbed onto the ceiling with my nails.
Okay. And, I'm just gonna answer this quickly for Jill because she's saying like what's Jeremy's favorite. Yeah. Jill, I think we pretty much already know what his favorite movie is. It starts with a K, 2 K's, and then it ends with an A.
Killer Clowns.
Yeah. Angela for the Philippines is on.
Hey, Angela. Hey, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Away from the Philippines.
So yeah, Jay, this is Angelo. Angelo's one of my subscribers on YouTube. He's what?
Look what Jeremy just said. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I had to show that. You were saying, Don.
Anyway, yeah, Angelo, he's one of my YouTube subscribers. He's from the Philippines, so we frequently, he's frequently on here.
That's cool. Hi, Angelo. Is it Angelo? Angelo?
Angelo, yes.
Yeah, see, I thought it was Angelo, but Don was able to correct me for it. But I knew that he was. It's nice to have someone all the way from the Philippines watching.
It sure is.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I actually I should mention this. There's a short film that's like a parody, a horror parody that's being released soon. It's not made from me, but I did have part in it. I actually did a I can't go too much information about what it's about, but I can say this: I did the voice of Hannibal Lecter in it.
Oh, give us a sound of how he was.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice.
I love it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And I just love Anthony. Like, I just love Hopkins. You know, amazing actor. And also, I found out recently that he actually has Asperger's syndrome, like me and Nick do.
Yep.
He does. Yeah.
I never knew that until he told me.
And he's a writer of music as well. He composes music as well.
Oh yes.
Fabulous. And Don, I would love for you to send me a voicemail of that so I can use it as my ringtone.
Oh yeah. You just, let me know. I'll be free to do it for sure.
I really want it. I do.
Yep.
I could never do the voice. I try, but I just can never do it. Like, he does it better than I could.
Yeah, because I actually knew somebody who was visiting like a prison, like for, I think it was paranormal. And you know what I told him? I'm just like, don't get too close to the glass, Clarice. It's just one of the many voices that I have. Like, some people love my Pennywise voice, and I'm just like, Pennywise the dancing clown.
Crazy. I want all of them sent to me on a ringtone. My ringtone at the moment is my name.
Oh my God.
My name. It's singing my name, Jenny, 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 until I answer it.
Jill, we're not touching that comment because Jeremy was asking originally saying, have you been under a rock? He says, if you need Dwayne the Rock. Yeah, we're not touching that one. Jill was like, you don't get that rock.
And like, I actually do like voices for my niece and my nephews, like but not horror stuff. No. I'm talking about like I recently, like, they were into like Mickey Mouse. They discovered Disney stuff, so I'm just like, hi, I'm Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Or also, if they like a Nintendo, it's like, it's a me, Mario.
I used to do Goofy, but I'm only good with a few glasses of wine.
God, you should be that voice actor for Mario for that new upcoming Mario movie, because I heard it's not doing the best already with the voice change.
Yep. No, too late. Chris Pratt already has it.
Well, if they don't like you can step in and take over.
And he's been on a Ouija.
What about Shaggy? Brad is asking, what about Shaggy?
Shaggy? No, can't do it.
No, you can't do that one.
Oh no.
No, just
Killer Sandwich.
The Killer Sandwich? Is that one of the stories?
No, there's no sandwich. There's no story about that.
Can I do the Japanese overdub version? If I knew a single word of Japanese, I would.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, konnichiwa. That's the only word I know.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, konnichiwa.
Yeah. And let's see. So the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, like that was let's see. It takes place in 1968. Like I don't know why they chose that timeline, but I'm guessing.
Well, Guillermo del Toro had explained he wanted to kind of be, considering when you think of 1968, especially in the horror genre, of course you think of Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
And well, no, what I was going to say was Guillermo del Toro kind of was approaching it in a very similar way to how Romero did his movie, being in the actual year. He wanted to kind of be about almost revolution in a way, at a time where so much was going on in America that day. Because, of course, obviously, perhaps the most important thing that was going on, of course, was Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And just because it has that message too, the Vietnam War was going on. There was still, not necessarily, but you still had some of that issues of racial problems, even though this takes place in Pennsylvania. You still had those issues. In fact, I should have brought it with me. They actually made a book based on the movie. So like they tell some of the versions of the stories that are from the original trilogy as the movie. And if you look at the book itself, it actually reveals stuff that you don't ever see in the film that you would only find out in the book.
Right. And I love how they threw in Night of the Living Dead in the beginning. Like,
Yep.
the film was released in 1968, basically, which created, the modern zombie that we know in film. But it also had them show how we used to watch it through a drive-in theater. And that I actually would like to experience. I mean, I know drive-in theaters are, like for the most part dead, but it would be interesting to see what get the feel for what that was like, that kind of experience, how they used to do, movie going back then.
Japanese is easy. Mouth the words and then speak 5 seconds later. Oh my God.
Mushy.
Jill. Phone hello in Japanese.
Let's see.
Let's try to. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all the comments.
ET phone
home. What?
We're not talking about ET. What are you talking, Jeremy?
I don't know what he's talking about. Get the helicopters out of Vietnam.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who protested Vietnam back in those days too. There was also another big issue in the film that the film goes over. It was draft dodgers.
Yeah, draft dodgers.
Yeah, people who were supposed to serve but then just fled. They
did have.
Oh my gosh.
And additionally, it even had a political feel to it because it was right around the time when Richard Nixon became president. And that was quite a, especially at that time was, well, I don't want to get too political and stuff, but kind of just as controversial back then as it was like we have with Trump. So,
right.
But I'm not going to get into that.
Right. Let's not. And I should mention, like, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I have a few great uncles, my grandma's brothers who served in Vietnam. So, they have experience with those kind of with that all the politics from back then. Yeah.
Good gosh.
So, but yeah, that's basically what the movie. There's a lot of themes to it, not just only with scary stories, but it was just 1968 was just such an unusual year. So I think that's why Guillermo del Toro. Not to mention, you don't see it ever in the film. I think I should still. Say 1968 was the same year also when John F. Kennedy's brother Robert Kennedy was shot.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were all kinds of nutcases who just wanted a few of the politicians dead.
Right.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think the other reason why Guillermo del Toro, from what I heard from an interview with him, he also wanted to choose that particular year because, understandably, this was at a time before people had social media, before they had cell phones. So like scenes of them using walkie-talkies and being on the telephone, that was basically your only means of communication back in those days with your friends. That's all you could do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 1968 was a way different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And like I should mention, like let's see, what was I gonna say? I love the way the way that they brought these monsters to life, like especially like Harold in the beginning, Harold the Scarecrow. Like, wow, he looks so much like in the book.
Let me show.
Hang on. I got it in the books, but I am going to look them up to see if I can get them.
Hang on 1 second. Got it right here, Don. Let's see. It's just not complete without show. Oh wait, I got to turn off the green screen. Hang on.
Yeah, I was about to say you got to turn that filter off.
Yeah. It's just not the same without showing another very notorious drawing, and that is Harold.
Wow.
And this story, once again, does kind of have. Sorry, Don, I didn't know if you saw the whole thing.
I saw
this story in particular actually does have another message for kids, believe it or not, because the story actually kind of revolves basically about bullying in a way. Because
what?
Bullying. So, because it's about, the original story, make long story short, is about two farmers who lived alone on a farm, and they decide to try to do something, because they obviously have nothing better to do. They decide that they want to make a scarecrow to scare some of the crows away. They make it. They actually go and they make the scarecrow based on another farmer that they hated named Harold. They even gave Harold's name. And at first, it's like, as the story goes, when they feel good, they would play around with it. But then when they would feel bad, they would beat it up and stuff like that. But then as time goes on, it starts making grunting sounds. And then at one point it walks up and starts walking back and forth across their roof.
No.
And at this point it freaks the farmers out, and they decide that they need to head down to the hill with their cows. So they head down the hill, but then they realized they forgot one of the stools that was really important. They said it would be expensive to, get a whole new stool. So they played by picking straws. One of them wins, and he ends up going back, but that farmer does not come back. So when the second farmer decides to go check up on his buddy, he goes up, he can't find his friend, but he sees Harold up on the roof, and then right on the roof itself was the first farmer's skin, basically taken off and left to dry in the sun.
Holy crap. I love it.
That would freak me out if if a scarecrow really did come to life. Like this is why I couldn't live on a farmland. I feel safe like living in a good part of the city where there's people around. I'm not having that isolation. So.
Do you ever see those guys that say on Halloween and they have this scarecrow kind of sitting on the chair before you go up to the house? I'm going with a baseball bat. If I see one of them, I'm being prepared first, because I don't know if it's someone dressed up, shoving straw up their arms and legs. And if they jump on me, I'm a kind of reflex kind of person. It's kind of like bang and up to daisies.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. People will actually dress up as scarecrows, like sit on a porch, wait for someone to come by.
Yep,
I've
seen that.
Oh, fear
yeah, it would be reaction. I have done it before.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But Billy Mount.
Good.
Billy Mount, thank you for joining us. Well, we're 1 hour in, but it's okay. We still got some pretty good things to cover on this. Let's see.
Yes, I know. We do know about a sequel. It is currently in the works. They haven't really made any real updates lately, but they're still planning on it.
Oh yeah, but if they make when they make a sequel to this, I would like to see both Doug Jones and Javier Botet play monsters, because I think it'd be pretty cool, like having them both in it together, because I don't think they've done that before.
See, the way how I see it with the sequel. Hang on a second, I'm just trying to get the movie right now. The way how I see it with this film is that, much like the book, I see a trilogy coming out of it. I don't want to say too much, but I could see the second one picking up right where the first one left off.
Yes.
And then the third one should be a prequel to the first two. For those who haven't seen it, you'll understand why. I don't want to say too much, though.
I could see that. Yeah. Let's see. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Here.
Yes.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's referring to the villain from Batman called Scarecrow, who was a psychologist who basically just went crazy and started professionalizing in exploiting, basically bringing out people's fears. Like, he actually invented this neurotoxic kind of a gas that causes delusions where you see your absolute worst fear.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and they've adapted this into film with Batman Begins. The one with Christian Bale.
Oh, I love. Yeah, I do like him too. He's Psycho in that movie, Psycho.
Oh yeah.
Is it Psycho?
American Psycho. That's
American
what it was.
Psycho.
American Psycho. That's right.
Yeah. That's the one.
You guys see Saw for the podcast.
If you're doing Saw, I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, Don, Billy's asking when we do Saw for the podcast.
Definitely. Yeah, I just got to figure out when. Yeah, because I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm thinking about Child's Play. I'm thinking about the VHS franchise.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that I'm planning. But definitely going to focus in December on Christmas-related horror. So be sure. So I got that for you guys to look forward to.
Awesome.
And also, when I refer to VHS, Jenny, I'm referring to this. These are VHS is a horror anthology. Each where characters come across these different VHS tapes. Each one of them is played depicting a different story. So a pretty unique way.
It's an anthology film.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of horror movies, but there's some really good ones I have not seen. That's one of them, VHS. I'm writing
yeah.
all these down. So if anybody calls me tomorrow, you're not gonna get me.
Yeah, so yeah, what I got here is VHS and VHS 2. There's like one called VHS Viral, which is not worth seeing. I didn't like it,
Okay.
but there's one called VHS 94, which I do love. I thought that was great. And they got a new one coming out called VHS 99. I'm guessing that takes place in 1999, which would be like the time where VHS tapes were starting to go into decline and the rise of
Yeah,
DVD.
Yep. Stilts. What does Nix mean by this? Stilts.
Oh, people probably people using stilts to when they dress up as a scarecrow. I think.
Oh my God! I dress up as a dead person by the door too. Please don't hit me, Jenny.
I won't. Just let me know beforehand, Jill. Let me know beforehand.
Dressed up and sat on the porch as a scarecrow to scare people. Brad said.
I know. I'm tempted to do it.
Of course he would.
Nightmare
Batman. Yeah, he's referring to Scarecrow again. What was his name? Jonathan Crane. That's the character's name. Who becomes Scarecrow. But anyway,
gosh, I have to see that.
Oh, hang on. I just want to see what Brad was saying. What if nothing scares you? Then what does the gas do?
Yeah,
you got me.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh, looks like you got some more suggestions, Don. Jeremy, Pumpkinhead.
Yes,
that's a good one too.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I was thinking of that. Yes, I was thinking of that. I was thinking of Black Christmas, Krampus,
Santa Sleigh.
Oh, Santa Sleigh. Yeah, Santa Sleigh. Like that's like a very unique one because of just because of how silly it is. Like where it's not a killer dressed up as Santa in this. It's like the actual Santa. Where like the whole premise of Santa Sleigh is like Santa made some kind of a deal with an angel and he lost the deal and was forced to give out gifts to kids for 1,000 years. But then in modern time, the 1,000 years are up and he's going back to his old psychotic ways.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny at the same time. He's actually played by Bill Goldberg.
Yep, a former wrestler.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Pet Cemetery.
Well, yeah, we did. We covered Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, we did. I thought, oh no. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about Leprechaun Origins.
No, I don't
consider
not. No,
it's crazy.
Keep that out, Jill. There a Grinch Slayer movie 2 coming out. That'll be interesting.
I would love it. I love Grinch.
Santa Sleigh is awesome. Bill Goldberg nailed that. Yep.
Wait, he's still wrestling? I thought he was done with that. I guess he got back on.
I don't know. I really don't know. Don gets gas, suffers from forever revenge. Jaws revenge show.
Jaws revenge sightings and House of the Dead. That train wreck. And is bad again.
But the creature in it was kind of cool how he looked in Origins. Oh my God, no!
No, it didn't. It was not. That was not Warwick Davis. That was not the Leprechaun that we knew and loved.
Nope. His most recent match.
I think they're hilarious. There was a movie out. Was it the Critters? Oh, it's gone back.
Critters, yeah.
That's from the 80s. Critters.
That actually frightened me, but I was young at the time. I was young. But
Let's see.
The Leprechauns, I think, is hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. The Leprechaun movies. The Leprechaun that frightened me bad was Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I know. Do you know it?
I think I might. I think I know what that sounds familiar, but
Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It was a bit silly, but the banshee part kind of frightened me. Right. But the horror ones with the leprechauns in it, I think it's hilarious. The one with he's probably about 2.5 feet with this huge green hat and this face, and it's hilarious. I watch it just for fun. It is really good.
Grudge American one still freaks me out. We got to talk about that one.
Oh yeah, The Grudge definitely. Let's see. We've got The Grudge, The Ring. There's let's see what else. Omen, The Witch, The Howling, Dog Soldiers. Let's see. Sixth Sense, Final Destination. I mean, I can go on with this.
Oh, I like.
Oh my God. Oh, Brad. I get gas. I'm back. Married to my head. Talking about your great. Oh my God, this conversation has gone all freaking different directions.
Oh my God.
What do you think of, which is coming out soon, the new American Horror Story, or all of the American Horror Stories?
Oh yeah, like I like that series, American Horror Story. We're gonna have to. I don't know if you've been watching that show, Nick. If not, we should probably have you get into it so that we can do episodes on that as well.
I've watched
is phenomenal.
I've watched the first couple seasons. So
Mm.
the last one I watched was oh my god, it was after Roanoke. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Not Roanoke itself, but the season after that. I can't remember what it was.
Hmm.
I think it might have been. You know what? Actually, no. I think it might have been.
Apocalypse.
No, what is
I
it?
thought it was that.
Apocalypse.
It might be. It
Kind of
might
thing.
be.
Yeah, it's because it doesn't really matter what order you watch the seasons in. Like they're all intertwined. I mean,
They are. I'm sending
I
your ex-wife a condolences card. I wish I was Brad's ex-wife just so I could torture him like the Grudge.
Sit on his shoulders. Sit on his shoulders. What do you call this
No,
guy?
that was Shudder. That was Shudder. That did
Shudder.
that.
Yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was told something about that. Somebody had a pain in the neck, and somebody told me
Yeah.
someone sitting on the back. This is like real life. I can't remember who it was though. What's that guy's name? Is it Ryan something? He played in the recent Netflix movie, Jeffrey Dahmer. He was the main guy. He played Jeffrey as a Dahmer.
Oh, that was
Is it Ryan something?
yeah, it was. Oh my god, how can I not know his name?
I know, me too.
It's like I could see his face, and for the longest time I did know his name, but
I'm gonna look it up.
Evan Peters.
Who?
You said the guy who plays Dahmer, right?
Yes.
Evan Peters. That's his name.
Oh my goodness,
Oh, yeah,
that's him.
that is.
Well, I was told a few days ago he is he's one of the main characters in American Horror Story. And for those who don't know, I'm going to spoil it for you now.
He's been there since the beginning.
He's not anymore.
What?
Sorry, I told you. My friend tagged me in it because she knows, like, we love American Horror Story. We just sit and, I don't answer the phone or anything. The wine comes out and I'm just glued onto it. And he's not in it anymore. He doesn't want to play those roles anymore.
What? No way.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play those roles anymore. I am very disgusted. I am not happy. They're going to ruin it.
I mean, at least he played in Dahmer, though.
Oh, here, Nick.
Nick gets gas. He's an Agent J from Men in Black, constantly being swallowed by his favorite space bug.
I like Men in Black. Great.
Yeah, he's so good in the first few seasons of American Horror Story.
Oh yeah,
I love him. I think my favorite was The Coven.
Oh yeah, a lot of people always say Coven is their favorite. Although my favorite, honestly, was Freak Show.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah,
that was great.
The one I didn't like was the 80s one.
When 1984?
Yeah, I didn't really like that one.
I didn't see that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones.
I couldn't get into it. But the very, very beginning, the very first one, I forget the name of it, but the very, very first one, and I was watching, I was thinking, what am I watching? This man comes in from head to toe in leather, black leather. I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I watching? And it was like so bad, but I'm like, oh God, I like this. I like it too much. And then the second season and the third season, and I just love the music. I love the intro, and I love the music.
Oh yeah, American Horror Story series or franchise. You got to do Tales from the Crypt, Scooby-Doo, Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, I actually was considering Tales from the Crypt though, because we all love Tales from the Crypt. So yeah, we definitely got to do an episode covering that.
Psych Ward one.
Oh, Asylum. Yeah.
I didn't like Asylum.
I had a hard time watching that one because just knowing that this journalist was being incarcerated just because she knew too much, and they tried to pass it off as she's a lesbian. We're keeping her the way she was treated throughout that season, that was just really upsetting to me.
It wasn't even just that. It was just simply aside. To me, I think it was just one of the weaker seasons. It was like a lot of the stuff they portrayed in that season was just kind of more of a, kind of been there, done that kind of stuff. I just wasn't impressed with Asylum. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were a few good moments, but for the most part, I wasn't crazy about it. If you were my ex-wife, I'm sure they would still be looking for my corpse. Nick gets, oh no. Jeremy, do not remind him. If Nick gets gas, someone cuts his hair.
If you're getting gas, like several barbers are going to be chasing you with the razor, with the buzzers. The buzzing razor.
It's like gonna be like an angry mob, and instead of having pitchforks and fire and flames, it's gonna be all like scissors and buzzers.
Yeah, they're gonna give you a buzz cut, Nick.
Who liked the Lady Gaga season with the AHS hotel?
That one was good. Yeah, I like that episode that had Alexandra Daddario in it. She was great.
Oh God, no, Jeremy, that's gruesome. What you just said. There will be shears at Perry. This was like what you use for bushes. Damn it!
Oh jeez.
Oh God, that's a gruesome choice, Jeremy. I think you would probably be cutting more than my head. I think you probably would be cutting my scalp off.
more than likely.
Buzz. Oh God. See, Jeremy, look what you've done now. Do it for the kids at Perry. I'm going to start shaving your head, Chance.
Yeah. Do it for the kids, man. Do it for charity. Come on.
Damn it, Jeremy. Look what you got me into.
Do it for the fluffy puppies and the children.
Hey, as long as it's not my hair.
I shave mine. I think it doesn't matter.
Don, you better be careful what you say, because don't, even if you say something like that, don't give Brad ideas.
Do it.
Anyways, we were talking about scary stories, not cutting my hair.
Okay, we'll get back to that. We'll lay off on that for now. Anyway, so the whole idea of a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie was they come across this. On Halloween, a bunch of kids led by Stella and Ramon, they come into a house, an abandoned house where murders took place in, and come across a book by let's see, it was called the Bellows House. So there was this mysterious woman called Sarah Bellows who wrote scary stories. So they come across the book that she wrote them in, but then the story or the book just starts writing stories on its own, which creates scenarios for some of the characters, their friends, to die in.
Oh yeah. God, I love it.
So originally,
stories...
God,
I'm sorry. Okay, I was going to say, and these stories are all like from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books.
I love.
So it was like when they made this film, unlike what you would probably expect it to be, it's not an anthology film like people would probably originally picturing it was going to be, where it would have different stories in it. It was to basically have a story that was completely new, had no connection to the original trilogy whatsoever, basically put in a timeline and storyline, and then add the stories into the book. So let's go into the film. So unlike, Creepshow or Tales from the Crypt, or even as Jill just mentioned, Trick or Treat, there's not really like an actual host of the film other than that Sarah Bellows is the creator. So if you want to call her a host, she kind of is, but she doesn't speak at the camera or give that kind of point of view feeling that she's talking to us. She's just a character that we slowly get to know as the film goes on.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's worth seeing.
Oh, good.
Try running with one of those white jackets, or at least 10 feet, and you'll fall over.
Oh man!
Stir the pots.
Oh, he's talking about what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for. I'm not sure what he means by. Can't wait for what?
For the guys to chase you with the to shave your head.
Oh.
Hey, Nick, that's just me. I like to mess with people.
Yeah, I know you do.
just like when I mess with that one girl that I knew from school. Like when I was working on a haunted house, like I was filming promotional videos for a haunted house that like a school was running. Anyway, one of my friends said that she hated Hannibal Lecter, and she especially hated that hissing noise that he does. And I was just like, "Oh, you mean this?" And then she's like. And she's like, "Oh, now I'm gonna have nightmares for days. Damn you!" And she's like, "Damn you, Don Elmy." And I'm just like, "What?"
See what Brad wrote?
I'm trying to record that voice for me for my phone because I want it as my ringtone.
For sure.
Jill. Oh, wait. Oh, Christy. How are you? No, I was going to put this up, Jill. Ew. Is it the 14th yet? I want to review Ends.
Did you see what Brad said?
Oh, yeah, I just shared that. Try one of those straight jackets at Perry Unity.
Oh, man.
I'll be watching.
Christine. Oh, yeah, that's another good Stephen King tale we could cover one day, Nick.
Well, no, he's referring to Christy Ayers. Who's watching.
Yeah, my bad. I figured.
Yeah, haunted house set Nix is referring to. He's talking about
the set from the
set from the movie.
From the movie, yeah, they did an amazing job with the set, the lighting, everything.
Oh my God, it was great. I mean,
oh yeah,
they did a good job with a lot of the cinematography in that film.
Oh yes, truly knew how to create a haunting, disturbing atmosphere.
I'm a scary movie all on my own.
Okay.
Christy. Oh, here, Jill says Halloween Ends. Yep, that comes out Friday. I'm going to be watching it on Peacock.
I need to watch that too myself. I'll have to check it out.
Wait 1 second.
Oh my God, Brad! Please tell me you're joking right now, Don. You may want to look at this.
No, that's my ex-wife, Christine. Oh, so your ex-wife is a demonic car. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Christine made a scary movie that involves stealing a tractor, Don. Hey, really quick, I'm just gonna say this: Don's terrified of tractors. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I'm not terrified of tractors. I'm just upset about that one video you tried to show me. That very disturbing video of a guy that was humping tractors. I'm like, seriously, like people have nothing better to do with their time. Jesus.
Guy that was humping tractors.
Yeah, it was the guy who got banned from the countryside for it. It actually became a sign of sex offender registry.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Halloween. Back to Halloween Ends. Jenny, check this out.
Yeah.
Put that on. I need something like that for the 30th. Oh, I love it. Did you see the video where there's somebody in a mask like that, but he's driving in the car? And then when he goes to the traffic lights, he kind of beeps the horn and he looks over at the other people in the car beside him. You should do that.
It's a train, not a tractor, but close enough.
Yeah. I just gave it an upgrade. I attached a Velcro on the back of it so that way it looks more like the one in the film. You know,
That's awesome. Where did you get that? I want to get.
I ordered this off of Amazon. So it was like around about $60.
Was it?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, fairly good deal for something like, because I wanted to make it look like actually from the film to make it look legit. Because I've seen like a few Spirit of Halloween stores. They just sell you like the facial part and you put on the wig, and I didn't want to do that.
No. That one looks good. God. I like that.
All year round. Yes.
Jeremy. Jill's going to jail 3, 2, 1.
What'd you do this time, Jill?
Oh, whoa! Touch my comment. That sounds kind of personal, Jill.
I know.
Oh my God.
I'm not touching that one.
Setting up lights for
22. We were setting up lights for a show that was going on.
Oh my God. Yeah, but yeah, like, so what they were trying to do in the film was like trying to find a way to save each other from becoming victims from stories that were being written by themselves from the book. So, and they got caught in several different scenarios, like the story where the red spot, a woman had like that red spot growing, and it was spiders coming out of there.
Yeah, I mean that. Once again, that was actually one of the very few like CGI sequences in the entire film. I told Don as Michael to kill me, please. Boy, the things I could say with that. Oh my gosh, Jill, you are so right. I am so going to Facebook jail tonight.
Probably.
Yeah, I got a feeling you are.
Yeah, she definitely is. She's going away.
But But no, seriously though, I mean, there's like some great sequences in scary stories. But yeah, like the red spot sequence, although it's like CGI, I mean, still just watching that scene alone, I mean, that's just disgust. It's just disgusting.
It is absolutely horrific. Yeah,
Oh
like,
God. Nick, I have my daughter's handful of fake bugs. Your favorite kind. I told her to hide them at her mom's house to scare her.
The brat.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
wait a minute. Well, Nick, after tonight, you don't have to wonder why Jill's not in the show chat.
Love. Oh, I know. I love that glove.
oh yeah, I got this years ago, like from Spirit of Halloween.
I was
Spirit
talking
Halloween,
on the
yeah.
30th of October. I'm doing a Halloween show, and I have Nick is coming on. I have a few people coming on. I have Robin Ramsey coming on, and I said, "Hey, Robin, it's fancy dress. It's fancy dress." And she said to me, she probably, if she's watching this, she'll probably give out to me. But she said to me, Jenny, she's a lovely dress, and she's a fascinator for her hair. And I said, great. And I'm kind of thinking, what are you dressing up as? And I said, that's brilliant. And I said, I have one part of my outfit so far. I said, I'm going to go as Maleficent.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, that kind of fancy dress. And I'm like, what were you thinking? She thought it was she thought it was nice dress attire. You know, you wear fancy clothes. And I said, Robin, paranormal investigator / researcher. It's Halloween. Dress up means Halloween dress up. But she thought it was, you know, fancy dress attire. I just thought, you know, I know she's not well at the moment, but I just thought, what was she, you know, thinking? I thought she was going to go tonight or something like that, but
Your phone's going to phone jail for an hour.
Good night, Christy.
Hey, good night, Christy. Great to have you on. Oh man, but like another disturbing sequence, I think they definitely had to use CGI for this in that film is where I think of the what was it called? The
Jangly Man.
Jangly Man, like who basically like was made out of like different body parts that fall apart, and he has to like constantly rebuild himself. Like
well, I'm going to actually say quickly about that. The Jangly Man now actually is a combination of 3 different stories. So those stories are, as I have the book right here, the first one is based on, damn it, I keep forgetting about the filter. The combination of both the stories about the Jangly Man are the stories, What Do You Come For? You know, like the body parts done.
Yeah.
And then right afterwards, and this is basically the story itself in the film, then, of course, undoubtedly, Me Tai Doti Walker.
Oh, yeah, because he kept saying that in the film.
Yeah, and then finally, the final story that combines, the third one that's based off of it, is this story called Aaron Kelly's Bones.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I so need the box.
And then, of course, undoubtedly, right around it's the same, around that same time, there is yet another story that emerged. This is Stella's story, which the story is a lot more different than the book version, but her story is The Haunted House. And this contains, undoubtedly, one of the most terrifying and perhaps one of the most notorious drawings of them all, which is this one from The Haunted House.
Oh, that's so freaking awesome. That's really fabulous. I love that.
Yeah, that was the one that scared me the most. I want the fluffy cuffs. What?
You know those fuzzy cuffs that they have?
Yeah, I know. But I'm afraid to ask, why does she want those?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't think I should touch that one. I can do better than that.
Oh, this is when Jill goes to Facebook prison.
Yep.
Yeah. Be good, be freaking good. Oh my God. What the hell is this? We'll just take regular handcuffs and we can glue Nick's hair to them once he shakes it. So basically he's asking, like, can we gorilla glue him to a handcuff?
Oh man, my face is probably bright red right now.
Mine is. Yes, I am definitely turning away from this, Jeremy. I was going to say, I think I might need an adult for this one. Besides every
Oh,
story.
Oh,
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean that's like I just love how they kind of they really do their best to try to base off the stories. I mean, they're not all of them as I was hoping so, but that's probably a reason why they're going to make another one.
So all these stories that's in those books, have they been made into movies?
One of them actually did long before the movie. Long before the movie was the film version was made. And again, this is another famous story that you're going to know this one immediately, Don.
Yes.
Let me turn off the filter this time. I remembered.
Yeah.
And undoubtedly, this one is called The Babysitter. Does that ring a bell to you, Don?
Oh yeah, story about a babysitter and then being stalked by a killer. Sometimes like they adapted so much has been adapted from that story. Halloween and also When a Stranger Calls. Calls are coming from inside the house.
You got it.
Yeah, long list of other things.
Next, we'll talk about that later.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, there's been and then of course, like we mentioned earlier about the Hook story. I mean, that kind of shows the elements of like how slasher movies are made. So you got the Hook. What other stories can you think of that have been made into films?
Let's see. What else? There may have been trying to think of what else. Not many, as far as I recall from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in particular, but like a lot has been adapted from that story, The Hook. I mean, also there was like the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yep.
Yeah. And mostly I'm fond of the first one. Second one was just not that great. Third one sucks horribly.
Yeah.
You never find out who was the person that knew what they did last summer. Yeah. Was it the man that they had knocked over? And he got up and he left. Remember, he had, when they turned around and they saw he had gone, I think. But did they ever kind of tell us who did it? Not who did it. Who like it was that was kind of
in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They
reveal they reveal who it is, and once after the first, you get to the first film, you pretty much know who it is. Then for the second film,
is it? I don't know if I can say who I think it is because I didn't see the reveal of who it was. The dad?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't him.
No.
Oh, instead of the red hood with that mask, don't call me Redneck Hood.
About that mask that we that he was designing earlier with a 3D printer. Hang on, let me pull up that picture.
And there's actually something I wanted to read quickly from the book because, to kind of partially also answer your question.
This is the one that Brad made.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We thought a lot of people on here were all saying that it looks like a mask that would be worn by Deathstroke or Red Hood.
Yes.
I can kind of see that.
So to answer part of your question too, although there's not really been a lot of movies made, however, and this is something I always tell people, always encourage people to do when they read these books, is not only when you're done with reading the entire stories, don't just stop there, because there's actually more beyond than just the stories. There's like acknowledgments and of course notes. And it actually will tell you like the origins of where the stories came from. Don, if you don't mind, let me read just one. Like, remember when we were talking about the big toe?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are wondering, well, where did that story originate from?
Okay.
So, jump stories. There are dozens of jump stories, but today only two are widely known. One is the big toe, which appears in chapter 1 and circulates in southeastern United States. The other is the golden arm, from which the big toe derives. In the golden arm, a man marries a woman who marries a beautifully crafted golden arm. When she dies, he steals it from her grave, only to have her ghost return to claim it. In some variants, it is a golden heart he steals, or golden hair, or diamond eyes, or it is a natural organ, usually the liver or the heart, that he eats despite the cannibalism involved. The big toe is an American tale. The golden arm, although widely used in the United States, has English and German I have trouble with some of these words. Antecedents, whatever you call that one. The Grimm brothers reported a version of it early in the 19th century, but the tale predates that period. Mark Twain used to tell the golden arm in his public performances. Here is some advice he once gave on delivering the jump lines that he once gave. It also applies to the telling of the big toe. You must wail, "Who's got my golden arm?" very plaintively and accusingly. Then you pause and you stare steadily and impressively into the face of a girl, preferably, and let that awe-inspiring pause build into a deep hush. When it has reached exactly the right length, jump suddenly at that girl and yell, "You've got it." The only other thing here, it says, if you got your pause right, she'll fetch a dear little yelp and spring right out of her shoes.
Man.
So, and then the only other piece of advice of notes, it says, there are 3 approaches to telling these jump stories. 2 are found in chapter 1. In the third approach, the ghost returns to search for what has been stolen. Feigning innocence, the grave robber asks what has become of various parts of the ghost's body. To each question, the ghost replies, all withered and wasted away. When the robber mentions the part of the body that was stolen, the ghost shrieks once again, "You've got it." So, yeah, that's just a primary example of where the big toe originated from, and also some good advice. So always not only just read the stories, but read the notes afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. I know what you did last summer, Jeremy.
Okay.
Okay. Who'd you kill, Jeremy?
Or is it Jill? Just trying to put the blame on poor Jeremy.
I like that one.
You're all doomed.
All doomed.
For Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
The bow taller than my kid was good too. What?
Yes.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about. I had to turn off the volume of the show. I'm working on arranging a musical box set. Okay. I ain't telling you.
Hey, we will find out.
One way or another.
The truth always comes out, Jeremy.
The truth is out there.
Yes. The truth is always out there.
Jeremy, no, you won't. Not my truth. Oh man. So yeah, like I said, I mean, they're so yeah, I always would. Man, I mean, I the future of how the sequel will look when the movie comes out, though, it's going to be really interesting, because here's the thing: when the announced X-Files, when the sequel, with the sequel is still in development. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's actually websites like making votes and like different ideas about, like, they're making like all these different voting sites of like, who do we want to see? Like, what stories do we want to see come to life in the next movie?
Yeah,
because we already know for a fact there not many were brought into the film. Like, only a few drawings were brought to life, and I got a feeling once the sequel comes out, it's going to have more monsters, more creatures, more illustrations coming to life.
Yeah, I would like to see alligators and also
alligators
on there come to life, and also the white wolf. I always like that one.
The white wolf. Yep. And hold on one second, because you mentioned those, Jenny. This is the drawing and illustration for the story of the white wolf.
How? Oh, okay. I'm looking at it. Show me it again. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. What one is that one about?
That one's about a hunter who, well, they say the area has had a number of wolves which have gone completely out of hand. A lot of them, have killed livestock, and in the story it goes, they would pay a hunter $10 for every wolf that he kills.
Okay.
And there's a butcher who thinks that's pretty good money. So he quits as a butcher, starts killing wolves, and he was good at it. Apparently, as the story goes, he would kill over 500 of them, which was close to $5,000. After 4 or 5 years, he decides to retire because there were hardly any wolves, and he believes that the wolves had made him rich. Then all of a sudden, a farmer reports that a white wolf had been spotted. He tried shooting at it, but the bullets didn't seem to have any effect. He forgot. Now the other farmer, he forgets about his decision never to harm another wolf, but he decides to go at it anyway. And I'm just going to read just a quick little bit of it because I don't want to read it for too long. What he does is that, so then one day a farmer reported that a white wolf had killed 2 of his sheep. He had shot at it and hit it, but the bullets didn't have any effect. Soon that wolf was seen all over the countryside, killing and running, but nobody could stop it. One night it came into Bill's yard, that's the guy's name, and killed that pet cow. Bill forgot about his decision never to harm another wolf. He went into town the next morning and bought a young lamb for bait. He took it out into the hills and tied it to a tree. Then he backed off about 50 yards and sat down under another tree. With his gun in his lap, he waited. When Bill didn't come back, his friends started looking for him. Finally, they found the lamb. It was still tied to a tree. It was hungry, but it was alive. Then they found Bill. He was still sitting against the other tree, but he was dead. His throat had been torn open, but there was no sign of a struggle. His gun hadn't been fired, and there were no tracks in the soil around him. As for the white wolf, it was never seen again.
Yeah, I was like I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's it. Go ahead. What you were going to say?
When I read this story, I always like to think that the white wolf was a manifestation of all the wolves that the hunter had killed, and they've come back. They come back into as this one being, the white wolf, come back for revenge.
That's it. Karma.
Yep.
His name is Karma. I think the same thing too. I think the same thing.
And then the other story you mentioned briefly, I'll show Jenny this picture too. He's mentioning about alligators. This is the drawing for the story Alligators.
I can't see. Oh.
Okay, I see that.
Oh, Nick. Wait, look.
A missing persons poster for the show's after parody for Nick's hair. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Nick's hair's gone missing. Here. Here.
Make fluffy cups. Okay, I'll stop. No, fluffy handcuffs. I'm listening. Keep going. Damn, I'm on the wrong show. Rudy printers don't make good fluffy handcuffs. What did you think of Werewolf by Night?
I got to see that. I haven't
seen that either.
I'm watching it tonight. I have Disney Plus, so I'm going to watch it tonight and give my thoughts.
You don't have work tomorrow done?
I do, but I'll just watch it until I fall asleep, and then I'll just watch the rest of it in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You guys ever hear about the legend of the Navajo? If you're talking about skinwalkers, that's based on Navajo legend, Nix.
Oh yeah, like that's one of the several Native American legends that we have. That along with Wendigo.
Yep, which there is a story about the Wendigo in this book too, which is actually just called the Wendigo.
That's right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and this is the once again, it seems like we're covering each story, and I have that need of showing Jenny so she can get familiar with it. This is the drawing for. They don't show the Wendigo, but this is the illustration for that book.
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, because Wendigo, I believe in Native American, it means evil that devours, because it's basically like feeding on just about on humans mostly. It feeds on all kinds of animals, and it's never satisfied with how much it can eat.
So it says here, because it does say in the notes about the Wendigo, what they say in this book, they do talk about that, but they also say something different about it. The Wendigo or Wendigo is in their version, it's also apparently a female spirit that personifies the awful cold of the northern forests. She figures in the folklore of forest Indians in Canada and in sections of northernmost United States. According to this legend, the Wendigo attracts victims by calling to them in an irresistible way, then bears them away at great speed, finally sweeps them into the sky, then drops them, leaving them with frozen stumps where their feet once were. As they are carried off, they characteristically scream, "My fiery feet, my fiery feet, my burning feet of fire." The only defense against the Wendigo is to restrain the person who is being called, but the spirit then tries to entice whoever is holding him. In the lore of some northern tribes, now this is where we're more familiar with it. This is the more familiar version of the Wendigo. The Wendigo functions not as a spirit of the cold, but as a cannibal giant that kills for human flesh. Some 19th century Indians also suffered a compulsion to eat human flesh. I think you know this, Don. An illness anthropologists later described as Wendigo psychosis.
Yeah, that's true. It is like there is like a condition called Wendigo psychosis that like the world of medicine recognizes. But yeah.
Here. She makes
Antlers.
Jill just brought this up. The Antlers, which we're going to talk about real soon. That movie, that's the best Wendigo movie I've seen in a long time.
Yes, it's like the only good Wendigo movie. Or the
Mothman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Mothman? Yes.
We have to do that. We're gonna have to do something about the Mothman prophecies too.
So,
oh my God, Jill!
Jill, hey, whoa, hey.
Yeah, this is
on the road, Jill.
Hey, come on, let's keep.
Where on earth are you coming with all this stuff, Jill? You're usually not like this. It will be silent stuff.
Hey, come on, let's keep that keep it clean on my show, please.
Did I see there's a new movie that's coming out called The Terrifier 2?
Oh, Terrifier! Yeah, I did come across that. I think on Shudder. I think
I'm reading up on it, and it's supposed to be people have passed out in the cinemas watching it. It's that gory.
Oh my God! Despite what we're talking about, it just this fuzzy handcuff stuff isn't going away. I'm sorry, Don. Responding to previous comments.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God!
What did you think of the first one? Was it good? Was it good enough to watch? Or
the first Terrifier? I haven't seen it just yet. There's so many horror films I'm trying to stay caught up with, but yeah, I'm getting there. I'll watch that one soon.
Jeremy, I hate to say it, but it seems that way. We've turned our over. Yeah. Oh God, that's what we don't want. I mean, with everything that we've been saying, I mean, I'm surprised we're still alive.
Yep. No, we're about to get canceled.
Yep, we're flagged.
Yep. I'm getting strikes on my channel right now. Yep. This video just got demonetized.
Someone's triggering me too much.
You put them in the corner.
Yep.
So,
into the corner.
Jill, you're grounded.
Yeah, Jill. Now you're definitely going to Facebook jail.
Oh, trust me, Nick. From what's been on before, we're in no danger.
I know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don, there's one other thing I want to bring up quickly involving these books and the movie itself. I think it's important to also bring up a particular song that plays throughout the film. I think you know which song that is. Jenny, you might know what this song is too.
Okay.
Once we describe this one.
Okay.
You know what song I'm talking about, right, Don?
I think so.
Why don't you
carry it? No, you're the biggest fan that I know of scary stories, so you do it.
So, in addition to the stories, Jenny, there's also a couple folk songs that they actually put in. I mean, it's not very many. It's just like the first book, there's like two songs, and then the second and third book, there's like only one song each. But the one I think, the two songs that most people know about are, again, you might have heard these ones. Okay. Old Woman, All Skin and Bone.
Yes.
And then the other one is the Hearse song, which that is played frequently throughout the movie. And the way I've always seen it, it's basically become like the official theme song of the books.
I think, when you know the song, but you have to hear it, listen to it to remember it.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? I got you covered, Jenny. Don, I
Have you?
gotta ask, you mind if I share a 2.5-minute video of something that I put together myself?
Sure.
I'm just gonna say this. I know I don't sound great with singing, but hopefully you guys enjoy this. So hang on one sec. Hang on. I'm gonna share the screen for you guys. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
Oh yeah.
So let's put in a little performance that I did earlier this year.
I think he's staring too long.
I'm sorry if the music's a little bit loud.
Can you hear the music? Oh yeah.
You can?
No, not yet. Not
Oh.
yet.
Oh, hold on. That's weird because it should be working just fine. Let me try. Oh wait, let me try something else. Hang on.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on, because I sometimes don't like when it comes to sharing. Okay, let's try this. Microsoft Edge tab. Now you guys tell me if you guys can hear this now when I play it.
All right, that's it.
The Hearse song.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Can hear it.
Now I do.
Never laugh as verse goes by. You may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet. From your head down to your feet, they put you in a big black box, cover you up with dirt and rocks. All goes well about a week, and then your coffin begins to weaken. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat the jelly between your toes. A big green worm with rolling eyes crawls in your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns a slimy green, and pus pours out like whipping cream. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in. The ones that crawl in are lean and thin. The worms that crawl out, they're fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain comes crumbling down your snout. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They crawl all over your dirty snout. Your chest caves in and your eyes pop out. And your brain turns to sauerkraut. They invite their friends and their friends too. They all come down to chew on you. And this is what it is to die. I hope you've had a nice goodbye. Did you ever think as the verse goes by, you may be the next to die, and your eyes fall out, and your teeth decay, and that is the end of a perfect day.
Oh my God.
That was
All those.
brilliant.
Wow.
That was brilliant. I was so intrigued with those pictures.
Yep.
Those are all the illustrations from the book.
They are. I need this. I have a list that I want to get.
Yes.
Those books are definitely on it.
Let's see. Oh, hold on.
What do you wish for Christmas?
Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Those books. I want those books for Christmas.
Oh my god! I got to see what everybody's saying with the comments because I'm loving this.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. It's just I got a little bit excited there.
We'll get there. Let's see. What do we wish for Christmas? A good Black Christmas remake.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, either that or a pair of Oakleys.
Okay.
What?
A pair of Oakleys sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like. Oh yeah, those things are like wow, hundreds of dollars.
Really?
Yeah, they're like serious sunglasses.
Really? We didn't get enough sun here in Ireland, so we just kind of like.
Actually meshes well together. Yes, I did. Yes, it does, Jeremy. Definitely.
It does.
That goblin creature. I'm not sure which one he's talking about because there were a lot of pictures. Oh my God, Brad. Another picture of my ex.
I seen it.
Oh man.
Finally done arranging the box set. Nice.
Done.
I was dancing to it. That's awesome.
I think I heard that one before. I want those books, and I want. There's a lot of stuff that I want for Christmas. I want those books, but I want new recorders.
How's that for a real nightmare before Christmas, if you will?
That I would like to be sitting on a train somewhere, traveling and reading those books and just having the page open with the illustrations on it, and some little children beside me looking at it, wanting to move. My work here is done. Move, little child.
I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for that other song. You know, I didn't record it, but it was the other one, old woman, all skin and bone. But you know what's really interesting about that song, the Her song, and Don, I don't think you would know this, by the way. Again, reading from the notes about the Her song is okay. So the Her song, although many adults are familiar with the song, it is best known in the elementary schools. But get this: during World War I, it was a war song that was sung by servicemen from America and England. One version went this way: did you ever think, as the hearse rolls by, that some of these days you must surely die? They'll take you away in a big black hack. They'll take you away, but they won't bring you back. And your eyes drop out and your teeth fall in, and the worms crawl over your mouth and chin, and the worms crawl out and the worms crawl in, and your limbs drop off limb by limb. So the words have changed quite a bit since then. Worms now play pinochle on your snout. There is jelly between your toes, and pus like whipping cream pours out of your stomach. With children as the audience, it is a more gruesome song, but it is not as grim. One scholar associates the change of words with a change of function. During World War I, the song helped servicemen deal with the fear they felt. These days, it helps children confirm the reality of death, yet through satire and humor deny its reality for them. The song is part of an old poetic tradition. During the Middle Ages, many of the poems written in European countries dealt with death and decay. Here is a verse of this type from a 12th century poem, which has been translated from the Middle English. A vicious worm lives in my backbone. My eyes are dazed and very dim. My guts rot. My hair is green. My teeth grin very grimly. At that time, such poems may have still served another purpose, turning one's thoughts from the flesh to the hereafter. So basically we look at the song now, and it kind of does give the reality of what happens to our bodies after we die. And apparently it's like, if we don't get cremated and if we're buried, apparently the worms and all these other nasty critters come in and basically party within us, eat us. They crawl in, they crawl out. That's why I'm choosing to be cremated.
Burn me. I mean, I love animals and I love creatures and I love little crawlies, but you're not eating me.
Yeah, destroy myself before they destroy us. That's gonna happen when I'm dead.
I mean, I could help and feed them, but no. I'm all for animals and creepy crawlies, and I'm all for animals. I have a lot of them, but I'm not feeding them my body. We're not doing it.
Yeah, that's why.
I want to be planted beside a tree, So, yeah, planted beside a tree.
There you go.
That's, many dogs will probably come up and pee against me, but that's okay. I have 5 dogs. I love dogs. It doesn't matter. I love dogs. I have 5 of them. So, I mean, give them somewhere. But that's what I want, to be planted, like, cremated, but planted.
I see.
Beside a tree. Yeah.
I don't get what I want, so I never expect any gifts.
Oh,
yeah. Well, Nick, I think here would be a good ending point now, because I got to get up early.
It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed.
Do you mind if I? Oh wait, you know what? No, I'll save it for another time. I was gonna say I was gonna play one more song just to kind of end it all, but honestly, it would take a few more minutes. So, but yeah, really cool stuff. Like I said, I recorded that obviously for the book. So, oh my gosh, Jeremy, need to get up that early too.
It's 4:30 a.m. and my alarm is set for 7.
Yeah, it's late. I was gonna say it's got to be really late in Ireland.
It's definitely.
It is 4:30 a.m. My alarm is set for 7 a.m. It will. And the worst thing is, I have this fabulous alarm that it's a nice alarm. It is so nice. I don't turn it off, and it puts me back to sleep. So probably not the best alarm for that.
Well, to be put in one of those depth pods that make a tree. I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna punch my fist out of my grave and get back up and say I'm not dead yet.
Yes, yeah. Fight mortality.
Yeah, it's like hocus pocus. Zombie.
You know what? I'm just going to say this now, just before we get off, because all this talk about scary stories, and Jeremy and I are still, well, we haven't really talked about it lately, but we actually had one of our, well, before Jeremy had, good night, Joe. One of the last shows that Jeremy and I had before he had his surgery was we had Emily Menthouse on, and she suggested a pretty cool idea for our network. And I wouldn't even mind if some of the other networks would do the same thing. She suggested that at some point we should have all my stories that I recorded, as well as these other stories that were recorded with the original trilogy, to be played throughout the networks, like kind of like commercial breaks. How does that sound to you guys? Like if there's not a show running, why not have the stories played during the network? It's like a commercial. They would be like nonstop. I got a lot of them.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We would have almost like in between shows, it would be like a marathon of scary stories to tell in the dark in the tribute books.
I even thought when I had somebody on my show, and he's an older man, and he probably wanted to take a break halfway through. So we were thinking of putting a video of some of the, say, an investigation, whatever, put a video in the middle for like, say, 3 minutes. And then, bathroom break, so grab your coffee or whatever and come back on. If the show goes on for 2 hours,
right,
then within the first hour, take a 3-minute break and just have your 2 or 3 minutes video on.
Well, here's another idea for you. So
yeah,
only ghost cats scare me, Jeremy. And no, Brad, 7 hours left. That is not happening.
I wish.
I mean, seriously, we could go on and on about scary stories. And Don, I got a pretty good feeling we're probably going to eventually go back into talking about it real soon.
Yeah, maybe we should create like a part 2 or something.
I'm sure it's going to be a couple parts, because let's be honest, I could actually get some of the authors who've done the tribute books onto the show as guests. What if I told you if I was able to get them on?
I would love that. Because
we did that when we used to have the show Paranormal Mysteries on the old network. We had Kurt Tuckfield on, and he was the one who wrote the book of the probably as best as you could ever imagine of what the 4th book would have looked like. It was the book Scary Stories: A Tribute to Terror. And we had him on the show. Really nice guy. And here's the thing. I got to tell you guys this right now, because I'm so mad about this even to this day. Don, I probably have told you this with Jenny. When I heard that they were making this book, when he was making this book called Scary Stories: A Tribute to Terror, he knew I told them, how super excited I was. And literally, if you get the tribute book, they do such a great job. It looks like the covers of the book. They use almost the same exact type of illustrations. Even the text is almost the same. But I bought it immediately as soon as it became available. But that's not all. Then I found out that they made a second edition of the book, which like included some like additional stories. But that wasn't the part that frustrated me.
Okay.
Kurt and Shane Hunt, who was the illustrator of the book, who did the drawings, Kurt and Shane later revealed to me that they decided for this new edition of the book, they added my name onto their tribute book, onto the acknowledgments.
Did you get it?
I didn't, because I had the first version, damn it. I was like,
Oh
why did you tell me?
Well, you can't the other one as to save it.
I almost thought of saying, well, is there any way I could switch this book with that one instead? But no, seriously, my name is now officially in a Scary Stories tribute book. They put me into the acknowledgments.
Awesome.
Normally, when you're put into the acknowledgments, you usually had a role in putting the stories together. Yeah. But I think the reason why I think they put me in was they knew I was such a huge fan of those books, and I also was kind of supporting for it. I was trying to get people to share. I was sharing it, trying to get people to buy the book, and you could pretty much say I think they were doing this as kind of like a thank you almost. Yeah, so they added me. They added me into the acknowledgments. So
cool.
I look back into all the years I used to be terrified of those books, and now all of a sudden a moment had come where I had never dreamed once that my name would ever be in any of these books, and it happened. So you get it now.
Congratulations, you got it. I'm a little jealous. I am a little jealous.
Yeah. So it's just really exciting. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll try to get some of these guys onto the show, Don.
Awesome. For sure. Yes. So, afraid we're gonna have to end it here. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. It was thank you for joining us, Jenny. It's been fun. It's been fun having you. Yep, it's been fun having you on.
You're very welcome. Hey, Jenny, if you want, I could play that song for you too for your online Halloween party if you like. If you're looking for some good music.
I want anything and dress up. You're dressing up?
You know I am.
Jennifer, silly question. Are you dressing up?
No, you're good.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Again, thank you, Jenny, for joining us. We're definitely going to have you
so much.
Yeah, definitely going to have you back on again.
Do the voicemail for me if you can of Hannibal Lecter so I can use it as my send it on to me in the inbox.
The glass clarities.
I hate Dr. Pepper.
So do I.
Brad, it's again. So just you know what? I'll just put this out one final time. Let me just clear the screen up. So if you guys are looking for some more, some really good scary stories, these are the books. I would start. I have a full more tribute. I have a lot of tribute books that have been paid homage to the original trilogy, but this is the original. Additionally, you also have In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories. And finally, and then of course, if you want to save the trouble, you could also get the Scary Stories Treasury book, which is all 3 books in one. And now finally, this is what I was going to say. Then, of course, more importantly, after you've checked out the books, definitely check out the movie. And additionally, I know we didn't have time to talk about it. We'll talk about it another time. Also, check out Scary Stories, a documentary. So we'll have to talk about that another time. But we're gonna have to do a part 2.
We'll make another episode, a part 2 for this. Yeah,
exactly. There's so much more to talk about with these books.
Not sure when we're gonna do that episode, but we'll figure it out.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to tune in next Tuesday, 8:30 for another episode. And have a good night, everybody. See you.
Hopefully we told you some good stories tonight. Good night.